Let me just make a general comment. You know, spring games are typical in that you'd like to see it more of a finished product, but you're also got a goal of getting everybody a chance to play, so you're never going to look like a finished product. But I thought there were some really good things tonight, some guys making some plays that we're going to need to make plays in the fall, and hopefully we can continue to develop as we get closer to the fall of, you know, deciding who our depth is so that we can, you know, clean up the execution that might have been a little bit shoddy tonight. And, you know, I just look forward to playing a game in the fall and being ready to do that, and play as clean as we can and be a good football team.
Are you as far as you want to be right now?
Yeah, I think, you know, based on what happened with our offensive line in the spring, we got done what we could get done. I mean, it's a very difficult thing to do when you don't have too deep in the offensive line to get everybody up to speed and so forth. And then the second thing is you're not playing your quarterback as live. And in a running game where the quarterback's going to be part of the action, it's hard to find out exactly where you are. We were blowing him dead, and defense will always tell you that he would have been down earlier, but you know that it's hard to tell. So we don't worry about that. But I do know that we've got the makings of a good football team.
You know, Richard talked about missed assignments and just kind of general miscues. Is that something that you wish was a little further along?
Well, again, you get back to who's making those mistakes. And those guys are not guys that have played a lot of football here. You know, and so that's a natural byproduct. Normally that happens when they're playing with 2s and 3s. But when they're having to play with the 1s, it becomes more noticeable, and you know it's a great learning experience for those guys, because if they're called into action in the fall, they've got to rise up and be ready to go. And so this, in some ways, was very profitable because we've developed more depth by having these youngsters who haven't had a lot of chances to get those chances now.
The defense looks like they're pretty close. What do you think?
I think our defense is going to be pretty good, especially when you factor in the return of Pat Larimore. You factor in return of Anthony Jefferson. I think we have a chance to be a very good defense, and I was pleased with the way we ran around tonight.
With the abundance of reps that Riho were able to get this spring, how different would it be to throw Kevin on these snaps?
We'll have to wait and see. You know, we've got one job to do in the fall. That's get ready to play Houston. But we definitely need to see where Kevin is, and so it'll, you know, a lot will be dependent on where he is after he's, you know, fully rehabbed and ready to go, and how close he gets to being a guy that can go in there and run everything we're doing and do it consistently in fall camp reps.
Are you expecting where you are offensively compared to where you finished up at the end of the season?
We're further along. We're further along with the addition of the new coaches. We've got schematically more answers, and I know it's difficult to always assess, especially when you're playing the same defense 15 times. But I think we've got more answers and more ways to go. You saw a number of big runs. You saw a number of plays down the field. We just got to continue to develop that and get consistent on it, and that's going to require, you know, a real dedication to the discipline involved in running the things that we're going, and also a reduction in some of the inventory. You know, spring ball is always a creation of inventory, but for any game, just like for any recipe, you're not going to use all the ingredients. And so hopefully we've got the makings for some positive things to happen in the fall.
Are you expecting Jeff Baca back by August or later?
You know, Tracy, I don't know. You know, that's a optimistic hope, and so I'm going to remain optimistic, but I think certainly by sometime in September.
When will Kevin be able to take just the next step in his progression back?
Well, I think he's going to start now. I mean, there's nothing contact. He was only had to stay away from contact, any sudden movements. So, you know, he'll only get stronger as we go. And I would say that by summer, by the conclusion of the spring quarter, he should be full speed, and then in August, ought to be in great shape.
Are we going to see this much Anthony Barr?
You know, this was a time to find out what we have, and that's why we wanted to continue to explore that. We know what we have in Jonathan and Derek, and certainly we're excited about that, but we wanted to find out with those young guys just exactly what we have and how to utilize them.
You're through the spring now.